Hello and good night. Welcome to another bedtime story. This story is meant to help you sleep or to relax your mind. Try and find a comfortable place, such as your bed or a soft chair. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes now. Try and let go of the day as we begin our tale. Tonight's story is Donkeyskin. Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a mighty and benevolent king who possessed the most wondrous donkey in all the land. This was no ordinary donkey, for each morning it produced gold instead of mere straw, filling the royal treasury with endless riches. With his wealth and wisdom, the king ruled justly alongside his beautiful and kind-hearted queen, and together they had a daughter, a princess of incomparable grace and virtue. However, happiness is not eternal, and sorrow soon fell upon the kingdom when the queen became gravely ill. On her deathbed, she made the king promise that he would only remarry if he found a woman as noble and beautiful as she. The king, deeply in love and grieving, swore to honor her request. Time passed, and his advisors urged him to find a new queen, but none could match the late queen's radiance. It was then that the king, driven mad by grief and desperation, came to a shocking conclusion. The only woman who matched his deceased wife's beauty and virtue was his own daughter. Declaring his intent to marry her, he sent the court into an uproar, but no one dared oppose the grieving monarch. Horrified by her father's decree, the princess sought the counsel of her fairy godmother. The wise fairy, equally appalled, devised a clever scheme to save her. She instructed the princess to make an impossible request: demand a wedding gown the color of the sky. Thinking this would deter her father, the princess obeyed, but to her dismay, the king commanded his finest tailors to create the gown, and they succeeded. Frantic, the princess made another impossible request: a gown as radiant as the moon. Yet again, the king fulfilled her wish. Desperate, she demanded a final gift: a gown as dazzling as the sun. And still, her father obliged. With no other recourse, the fairy godmother devised a final test. The princess must demand the hide of the golden donkey, believing that the king would never part with his source of infinite wealth. But to their horror, the king sacrificed the donkey, presenting its hide to his daughter. Realizing there was no escape within the palace walls, the fairy instructed the princess to flee. Disguising herself in the donkey's skin, she escaped into the night, taking only her gowns and a few precious keepsakes. Wandering alone, she found refuge in a distant land, taking work as a scullery maid in a humble farmstead. The people scorned her for her ragged disguise, calling her Donkeyskin, never suspecting she was of royal descent. Time passed, and fate intervened one day when the prince of a neighboring kingdom rode by the farm where Donkeyskin toiled. He glimpsed her through a small window and was struck by the grace in her manner despite her wretched appearance. Intrigued, he resolved to learn more of the mysterious girl. One night, during a royal festival, Donkeyskin had secretly bathed, donned her gowns of the sky, and slipped into the bowl unnoticed. The prince was immediately enchanted and danced with her, but she fled before he could discover her identity. This happened twice more, once in her gown of the moon, and then in her gown of the sun. The prince, now madly in love, vowed to find her. Before vanishing the final time, Donkeyskin left behind a ring in a cake prepared for the prince. Upon finding it, the prince declared that he would marry only the woman whose finger fit the ring. Many tried, but none succeeded, and at last Donkeyskin was summoned. The court jeered at her ragged form, but when she placed her delicate hand in the prince's, the ring slid on perfectly. Stunned, she cast off the donkey hide, revealing her dazzling beauty and royal bearing. Recognizing her as the mysterious lady from the bowl, the prince rejoiced. The king and queen welcomed her with honor, and their wedding was celebrated with great splendor. Even her father, who had since repented of his misdeeds, sought her forgiveness, and was granted that in time. And thus, Donkeyskin, once a fugitive, became a beloved queen, and her tale of resilience, wisdom, and courage lived on for generations. And she and the prince lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening to this bedtime story. I hope you enjoyed the tale tonight. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more audiobooks and tales to come. Until next time.